环节，我是主持人 Reirachu。首先恭喜 PSG 拿下今天本场比赛的胜利。Hey guys, I'm Reirachu and welcome to the post-match winner interview. Today we have PSG's top laner Hanabi with us. Can you introduce yourself, please?
大家好，我是 PSG 的中文
今天
Hanabi。
so 忘忘了用中文跟你说，还好没事。So my first question that I want to ask is, how did PSG manage the comeback victory when you were 7,000 gold down in game number two? What do you think was the biggest mistake that JT made during that game? 那第一个问题想问的就是关于第二局，就是逆风大翻盘到底是怎么完成的呢？然后火龙会觉得 JT 犯下最大的失误是什么？可以跟观众解释一下细节吗？
因为第二局我上路已经就是算有点爆炸了嘛，就我跟我队友说，我们三件装下去跟对面打团，然后我们就一直防守。然后我觉得这一 team 最大的失误就是没有去一直进攻边线吧，因为西位的中塔是推不了，所以因为中塔浪费很多时间。
So he said that in game number two, over in the top lane, like personally, his lane was kind of boom. So what he communicated to his team was that he thinks that they should just wait until they were at 3 items and then try to team fight at the 3 item point. But before that, they were just willing to let objectives go. He thinks that the biggest mistake that JT made that game was in not pressuring the side lanes enough. He thinks that they could have done more in the side lanes. He also thinks that they wasted a lot of time in mid. He thinks that with the Sivir as well, they weren't able to push down the tower, so they wasted a lot of time there. So I want to ask also about that game because you also picked a Gangplank, which is a champion we don't really see on this patch anymore, versus Roxnar. So is the Gangplank a confidence pick for you? Can you maybe give us some tips on the Gangplank Nar matchup? 那局也是选了在这版本中比较少见的船长，是为什么呢？是不是火龙个人的自信角吗？然后能够分享一下，就是船长打纳尔的对线技巧。
因为船长这个英雄其实京东的369也选过嘛，就我是觉得是可以选择的英雄。然后自信的话也是有的，因为自己的就玩蛮多的英雄。然后船长打那就是前面基本上都是能推线的，然后可以用大局去支援自己的队友，就可能一件装的时候会打不那就是他的缺点。
So he said that Gangplank he thinks is pretty pickable. He thinks that for 369 and also for him personally, it's a champion that is quite viable for him. Gangplank is kind of a confidence pick for him, but then he also says that personally he does play a lot of champions. He said that if you're playing Gangplank versus Gnar, Gangplank is pretty good at clearing out the wave, and also you can use the ultimate in terms of helping out your teammates. And then one of Nar's weaknesses that you should try to exploit as Gangplank is when you've completed your first item. That is when a Nar is weak versus you. So my next question is also about top lane. Did you expect that J Team was going to field Rock for all 3 games today? 那有没有想到今天对方会3场都是要对上 Rock 呢？
就我觉得他们3场会上 Rock 也是合情合理的，因为他们之前因为用 Rock 上路，然后赢下了我们嘛，所以是能预料到的。
So he said that J Team fielding Rock for all 3 games is something that was within the realm of expectations for him because the last time that J Team beat PSG, they were fielding Rock in the top lane as well. And in general, like Rock has pretty good performances with the rest of the J Team squad. So my next question, Hanabi, you've been a pro for a lot of years. However, this is the first time in recent
干嘛？
history that PSG has been knocked to the lower bracket this early. So were you nervous before today's elimination match, or did you feel a lot of pressure? 那火龙毕竟也打职业的了好几年了，但这次是 PSG 在这2年当中第一次这么早就落到败部。想问今天的生死对决之前会不会感到紧张呢？然后有没有感受到很大的压力？
这因为我自己打职业打那么多年，其实很少在季后赛就那么早输掉了，都基本上前面都是能拿下的。 然后今天的生死对决前，我并不觉得很紧张，但是压力的话是有点大的，毕竟就已经连续2年进世界赛嘛，也希望今年能进。
So he said that he's had a pretty long pro career. He's played for a lot of years, but this for him personally is one of the first times that they have dropped to the lower bracket this early in playoffs. But he said that even though coming into today's elimination match, he wasn't feeling all too nervous. He did feel a bit of the pressure, but that was because PSG has always consistently made it to Worlds. So of course this year as well, they are hoping to make it to Worlds. So, my next follow up question, of course, is did you honestly think that PSG would drop to the lower bracket this early in round two? Is it possibly the language issue that is a big problem within the team? 那老实说，火龙有没有想到 PSG 会在第二轮就落到败部呢？然后也想问一下，就是语言算是队内的沟通难处吗？
就其实在打 TFO 之前就觉得自己有机会输了，然后其实主要的问题还是在沟通真的太乱了，就是大家都就有些单子是听不懂了，所以很难做到辨识，就会打得比较乱。
So he said that actually for PSG, even before their match versus CFO, the team had already had the thought that they might lose in the series or they might drop games. He said that the main problem on PSG right now for sure is definitely still communication. He thinks that just in terms of vocabulary, for example, there are words that the teammates are using that they don't understand. And because they don't understand these key words, it's hard to communicate and make those decisions in game. So I want to ask also about the last match versus CFO because that went to all 5 games. And if PSG do make it to the finals this time around, between CFO, BYG, and DCG, which team would you prefer to face off of in the final? 那上一场对上 CFO 是整整打满5局的鏖战，若是最后一路挺进决赛，火龙个人会比较想遇到 DCG、BYG 或是 CFO 呢？
因为其实下一场就要打到 BCG 了嘛，所以其实决赛就只会打到 BYG 或 CFO。个人的话会比较想打 CFO 吧，因为就输给他们，希望自己能一下复仇。
So he said that well because their next match they're going to play versus DCG anyway. If PSG do make it into the finals, they will have to face either BYG or CFO because it means they've already been in DCG. So he said that between BYG and CFO, he would rather face off versus CFO because they lost to them 2 days ago, and he personally would like to get the revenge win. So, what kind of adjustments did the team make after the loss versus CFO 2 days ago? 那前天败给了 CFO 之后是做了什么样的调整或者复盘呢？
嗯，就在前几天输给了 CFO 之后，我们就从拳脚上做了比较大的改变，然后打法的话就减少自己的失误，然后进行游戏。
So he said that they mainly made a lot of adjustments in terms of their band picks and what kind of champions that they were going to play in today's series. He said in terms of the way that each individual teammate was playing, they really just made a couple of adjustments to kind of like their mechanics. They kind of fixed those little mistakes. So next, I want to ask about Gory. We saw in the pre-match interview also that J Team's coaching team said controlling Gory is the key to any team winning versus PSG. So how do you personally feel about people saying that PSG need to rely on Gory in order to win series and win games? 那接下来想聊一下关于这赛季最大的补强 Gory，然后 JT 就是在赛前的采访，他们的教练团也有提到，就是控制好中路的 Gory，就是他们今天的战术。然后火龙对于被说 PSG 要赢的话，得靠 Gory，有什么想法呢？
就因为季赛的时候，其实确实都是靠我们中路 Gory 在 carry 我们的游戏的，但是到季后赛就是其实我们的下路状况也很好，下路也其实能站出来的，就是今天就是 Unify carry 3场。
那火龙个人呢？个人表现呢？
我觉得我的表现就有点差强人意吧，希望能再更好一点。
So he said that during the regular season, of course, it was Gory who was doing a lot of the heavy lifting during the regular season games and carrying the PSG squad to victory. But he said that playoffs, however, he thinks that it's not just Gory who's putting in the work on the team. He feels that the bottom lane has been improving a lot and their condition has been very good in playoffs as well. He said that in the recent series, you can see that their bottom lane is able to stand out and have those standout performances. Whereas for him personally, he still thinks that he's not playing up to par and that there are things that he can improve on and he can play better. So, my last question that I have to ask is what is PSG's goal for this summer? Is it champions, as always, that we've seen PSG win year after year? Or is the goal this time maybe to just make it to the finals, make it to Worlds? What do you think? 那最后一个问题就是关于这赛季 PSG 的目标会是什么呢？就是依然会是夏季冠军吗？还是说只要是打进决赛，然后夺个世界赛的门票就够了？
嗯，我每一个赛季的目标都是希望自己能拿下冠军吧，就是希望这一次的夏季也能拿下我的第7个冠军。
So he said that for him and for PSG, their goal is always to become the champions of their split. And he said, of course, the summer is no different, and they hope that they can once again be the champions of their own region. All right, thank you so much, Hanabi, for the interview. And of course, good luck in the last week of playoffs. 好的，那非常感谢火龙，接受今天的赛后采访。当然，要去 PSG 在下周季后赛的最后一周加油，拜拜。
拜拜。